Krau, code number 00. Standing by. All systems online. Let's go, Siegfried. I'll show you how I do things.
라스트 라이더 크라우는
What is up, my guys? So, we got the boy. The boy has arrived. He's here. Well, be here shortly after this video goes live, you know, within a day or two, whatever, right? So we finally got ML Krau. I will say, rip,
기계화 제국
because we had, you know, we thought this was going to be the ML Krau, which is pretty dope. I can't zoom in on this image because I opened it in another tab, but I'll zoom in on it in editing. Really like this design, but maybe this is a different unit that they haven't put out yet. It's just similar to Krau that also rides a horse. Who knows, right? So let's take a look at the kit here. As you can see, which way do I go? This way. Right here, we have bonus crit chance for the two people fucking back and bottom, right? Which is neat. Sweet. Got that. They kind of detail his bike here a little bit, which is actually pretty good. He is the heir to Siegfried.
복원한 로스트 테크놀로지
That bike's sick.
기동병기 신수 지크프리드의 계승자이기도 합니다.
Yeah, I like that.
과거 타라노르 서부에서 생겨난 반란 단체 호문클루스를 진압하기 위해 칠반의 가까스로
Okay. I'm not too much concerned about the lore. More concerned about how the unit performs. And this is pretty hype too, right? Some cyber cigarette action there. Yeah, I approve. Okay, base stats. Here we go. I believe, yeah, he's just a Pisces Knight. He's got the same base stats as OG Krau. Good stats. 100 speed. Pretty low. That's the only thing, really. He's got great defense. Self-imprint is HP. Great. Attack doesn't matter. Great defense, great health. You know, kind of low speed. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Let's move forward a bit. Skill introduction here. So we have, I guess we're going to start with his skill 3. It's an AoE horse. Yeah, I don't know who thought of this thing. But, welcome to the night meta, Krau. You're going to feel well at home here, next to Charles and ML Tywin and FCC and Lilius. You're going to feel right at home. You're going to have a bunch of friends in RTA. You're going to probably get pre-banned quite a bit, and you're probably going to get post-banned quite a bit, because in all reality, this guy's pretty busted. So we have a skill 3, summons Siegfried, and attacks all enemies before granting immunity to all allies. I completely forgot it did that. More bustedness. Penetrates defense, but cannot trigger a critical hit, which is fine and dandy. We don't care. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Damage dealt increases every time skill is used and can stack up to 3 times. Sick. You soul burn it, reduces the cooldown by 2 turns. It's so 6 after you get it plus 3, and then when you soul burn it, it's 4. Right? Neat. Let's take a look at it again.
자신의 최대 생명력에 비례해 피해량이 증가하는데요. 이 스킬은 사용할 때마다 피해량이 증가하며
Tron Krau.
중첩됩니다. 소울 10개로 3스킬의 쿨타임을 2턴 감소시킬 수도 있습니다. 이 스킬 코드 넘버
Okay, now we have the passive. After suffering an attack that targets all allies, decreases the caster's cooldown by 1 turn, and grants a barrier to all allies for 1 turn. Barrier strength increases proportional to the caster's max health. Barrier effect can only be activated once per turn. Notice how here they didn't put a space after that period. Barrier effect is the only thing that it says once per turn. So if you get AoE'd in multiple turns, it's going to continue to reduce his cooldown. So like counter disease, SSB, Everything else that AoEs. Which, like, everything in the meta AoEs. You have a couple single target nukers, right? Like, you have your S-Tennies, you have your ML Charlottes, you have your A Ravi, which you might see sometimes. Melissa, maybe sometimes. You know, just those units that single target nuke. Even Spez carries an AoE. So, not saying he's meta or anything, but, you know, he's a single target nuker that also has an AoE in his kit. So, yeah. He's going to be a heavily contested pick in RTA, I can say this right now. As for, like, regular arena and stuff, I think he's going to be pretty good on offense for, like, arena rushing. Because you have all these units that, like FCC on defense. A lot of people are running ML Surin on defense, and etc. So if you know, just AoE them every fucking turn that Krau gets a turn, you know, I think he's going to be pretty good in that scenario as well. And then he's also going to be pretty good in Guild Wars, from what I can see. I don't know how good he's going to be on Guild War defense, but on offense, you just run him into, like, an AoE cleave team. You know, like, there's people that run, like, FCC, Charles, Arbiter, Vildred, right? You could just run him with another mitigation knight and a healer, and you'll basically beat every team that you come up against. You run him with Adamant Shield, you run another knight on Arius. Yeah, easy claps. So, and then you get a barrier as well, too. So, yeah, whenever you get AoE'd, you get a barrier. So, like, even like pairing him with something like Rowana against an SSB, because he gives immunity, which is something that Rowana lacks in her kit. That's, like, the one counter to like, the thing against SSB. Like, if she lands the unhealables, then you're not really doing shit with Rowana, right? But you stick the Krau next to her, get the immunity off of his S3, and then you're getting barriers and healing off of every counter that SSB does, and not getting defense broken. It's pretty strong. So, I guess they kind of showcased that here. Let's take a look real quick.
타임이 1턴 감소하고 아군 전체에게 1턴간 보호막을 발생시킵니다. 보호막은 자신의 최대 생명력이
Immunity.
증가합니다. 보호막 효과는 한 턴에 한 번만 발생합니다.
You want to know something funny, man? I was just talking about these two together against SSB, and, like, that's what they're showcasing here. I watched this, like, when it came out on stream, and I haven't watched it since. This is my first time going over it again. But yeah, that's basically exactly what I just said. It's used in scenarios like this, he's going to be really strong. And that's what they show here. But I have said in a previous video, with me, like, going over this stuff before, like, this is how they showcase new units in, like, the best possible situation, right? So if they look good here, like, I think he's good in other situations. He's just a good pick into anything, because debuffs are relevant. Immunity's one of the strongest buffs in the game, right? Getting a passive barrier is like a passive heal every time he takes a turn, and you're gonna want to build him fast. So that passive barrier is gonna proc a lot. And then we have punishment is skill 1, right? Attacks the enemy with a sword storm before increasing speed. So he gives himself a self speed buff, which is interesting. Damage dealt increases proportional caster's max health. After this, I'll pop over and look at the skill mods, so we can look at that. So potentially, like, some Elbrus options here to give him his speed buff. Then you get AoE, you get a barrier, and then he counterattacks. He gets a speed buff too. Like, this guy has 3 buffs in his kit that he can give himself. That's really strong. You know, speed buff, immunity, and barriers. Like, he's got a pretty stacked kit. And the fact that he penetrates defense too with health scaling is like, you build him tanky, he does damage, and he brings great team utility. Like, what the fuck?
1스킬 역시 자신의 최대 생명력에 비해 피해량이 증가합니다.
Yeah, they're showing exactly what I was talking about here. Like,
라스트 라이더 크라우는 아군 전체에 면역과 보호막을 발생시켜 보호할 뿐만
yeah.
아니라
Last Rider Krau not only grants immunity to all his allies, but he deals AoE damage with his 3rd skill. Oh, we know that. And then he protects his team against counterattacks. They're still trying to tone down SSB because they've released a lot of units to deal with SSB. And they buffed Pavel as well. Like, there's just a lot of units that I'm guessing they're noticing that SSB is still getting used a lot. If you watch the recap video for RTA that they did recently, where it was just like, oh, Deviants and Veritas got rank 1, both, right? In the little year-round fucking video they did for 2nd anniversary, but it still shows SSB is like one of the highest picked units. So I think they're trying to amend to their mistake, you know, a year and a half later. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Let's take a look at these mods real quick. I got them pulled up on Epic 7X right here. Okay, so 10% of HP on his S1 with a 0.7% attack mod. It's not bad. This is the barrier. I'm guessing that's percent of health there. So it'd be 10.5%, right? 10.5% of health maxed out, which is a pretty fat barrier. You figure he has 30k HP, that's 3k barrier. So kind of equivalent to FCC from what I'm seeing here. It's similar. Yeah, and then the mod, 6%. That's pretty low. But it is an AoE that ignores defense completely. I think I could pull up the damage calc. We can see what kind of damage we do. He's probably on there by now. Let's do that. So we're not going to take a look at this no more. Let's just go to the damage calculator and see if the dude's in here. Last Rider Krau. Yep, he's in here. Let's see some kind of damage. What's realistically like some kind of attack he would have? Like how much attack comes on a weapon, guys? On a max level weapon, so we can... Yeah, let's do 90 weapon. 525. Fuck, I gotta go look at his... Let's take a look at his base stats again. And we'll just throw a ballpark attack number in there. Okay, so... 839... Let me pull up my calculator. So we'll do 525 plus 839. And then we'll just throw in, let's throw in like another 200 fluff. Something like that, right? So 1564. I mean, that's kind of makes sense, right? So from you know, random flats and whatever else, right? For artifact proc, portrait is an option, but yeah, Victoria's flag might be. No, I don't think that works with him because it's, yeah, he's an ML unit. Starter gear. Oh wow, that's neat. I didn't know they added that. Attack imprint, let's not worry about that. Attack percent, let's not worry about that. Crit damage doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't crit. So, his S1 though. 10% scaling. That's not bad. So we got all these maxed out. They did some updates to this shit since the last time I used it. It's been a while. We'll just look at... Oh, it penetrates defense. I don't even think it matters. Why does it say NA? It's based off health. Can you not input health in here? Well then, I guess we can't... Oh, caster's max HP. Why is it, Oh, because it's just crit here. I'm dumb. This is what we're looking at over here. So if we look at like a reasonable, I think like 28, like in this area, let's just do 28k. Is reasonable health, right? So this is what it does AoE. Am I missing something, or is that, like, not good? I guess it's an AoE. It's going to do this much damage regardless, but I felt like it was going to get harder than this. I mean, we could look at Portrait. That increases the damage a little bit, but I think you're going to want to utilize the fact that he's a knight. And even, like, his S1s don't seem to be hitting very hard. Yeah. Huh. Honestly, I expected him to hit, like, around 8K. Something like that. So I'm actually... Getting this much health is not going to be easy, too. With making him fast. I think you want to use him for his utility. You're not going to be using him for his damage. His damage is mediocre. The fact that he brings the barriers and the immunity to your team, and he does ignore defense, is pretty good. But, I don't know. You're not going to be cleaving nobody with him. He's going to fit right into the meta where, you know, people are picking all knights. That's what this guy's going to do, from what I'm seeing here. A little bit in the dampening. Not dampening. I'm thinking wild terms. Frenzy. He's going to start hurting. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't get this. What's this attack stat stuff? Oh, this is, okay, after he gets 3. Now we're getting into something. That's kind of what I expected a little bit around here. I thought this would be like the area, right? So after 3 uses, he's going to be hitting decently hard. So yeah, you're going to be wanting to go in the long fight with him. So, like, be prepared. This unit's going to piss you off. Completely forgot about the damage scaling, like that it increases over time. This makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, and that's honestly, I could get him to around here. So, and that's not even in, like maybe with self-imprint, right? Or not even with self-imprint. Let's take a look. This is gonna be a long fucking video. Same stats as Krau, right? Here, let me make this big. We'll just go take a look at Krau. My Krau's got the triple S. It's got a max Aureus on. Let's go max HP what I can on Krau right now. So we'll go sub stat health. Probably still want speed set regardless. Probably want to go main stat health here. And then substat flat health if we can do it, right? That's got some... Well, that's not even 90'd. Just throw that on. Do that. Yeah. This is with no health sets. 30k. I would have to put on a different neck. So yeah, this is 30k. This is a 90, which I'm missing the extra health here. And then I'd get a bonus here. He'd be at like 31. This is slow though. But he's actually relatively tanky. Right? This isn't bad. I think you want him faster, though. You want to stack that thing up quick. So I would probably build him like my FCC right now. Like, I'd probably run speed set and speed boots. But I have my actual Krau boots that look like this. So, like, these boots would be perfect for him. Like, this is a nice build. Like, 28k, 212 speed. This is nice. I like this. And then, there's a lot of useless stats on his helmet. You don't really need crit damage. It's just gonna kind of matter for his S1s. I guess we could take a look to see like how yeah, even with crits, like this is it's like non-existent, man. And I think yeah, this is 250 crit damage. Yeah, build. Don't worry about crit. Don't even touch crit. Ideally, on him you don't want crit at all. It's not worth it. His S1's not going to hit hard enough. You wanna stack every other stat but crit and crit damage on this guy. And you don't need effectiveness either. Effect resistance probably not, but they're going to look to CC this guy. So maybe some ER on him isn't terrible. But I think immunity, like if I could drop all of this ER and this distribute it. Holy shit, dude. Now that I look at it, he only needs 3 stats. What the fuck? Dude, honestly, you might want to put attack like the top 4 stats. Because attack, it's not bad on him. Like, attack is still going to increase the damage of his S3. Damn, this video is 21 minutes long right now. I'm going to wrap this up. But yeah, man. It's fucking, like, if you're, like, you don't need crit, you don't need crit damage, you don't need effectiveness, you really don't need ER either. I think, ideally, you go for these in a flat. Or you go for some attack. I mean, but flat attack is going to benefit him more than percent attack, I think. It's pretty close. So I think, like, speed, health, defense. That's literally all you need on this guy. That's it. That is it. Speed, health, and defense. Getting crit isn't terrible, obviously, because, you know, getting crits on your S1, it's nice. He is going to be using S1 probably pretty frequently. But I think I would just ignore crit because it's not going to benefit his S3 at all. So, but, you know, you might be using S1 a lot. So having crit may not be bad. But yeah, either focus all of these or, you know, get whatever little bit of crit you can. You know, having, you know, 50-50 crit isn't bad. Like every other attack, you'll crit. But if you don't have, you know, 100% crit, you'll probably never crit. So, yeah, I think he's going to be good. His damage definitely looks a lot better after it ramps up. It did feel a little low before the ramp up here. But I think he's going to be very good. So, yeah, I'm going to stop talking. This video is too long already. If you stuck around this long, awesome. You should keep being awesome and hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe. I need to start saying this at the beginning of videos. Because that's what most people watch. But, yeah, you guys have a good one. Peace.
Fuck.